We played really hard. The coaches called plays that were good plays. We just didn't execute them well on the field. How many times have you watched a press conference after a football game or really any sporting event, and the players are saying, we just didn't execute well? We played hard. We worked really hard. We did things, but we didn't actually execute the game plan. And I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about that in like our own lives and how when we come up with plans, when we come up with ideas of things that we're going to do to reach goals, what keeps us from reaching those goals? And it's the execution part of it. So here's what they do in football, okay? Is that they have a bunch of plays. They have things that they've been taught how to do and learned how to do and have practiced and from, years and years and years of going through different coaches and practice, they know how to do these different plays. They know how to do these different things, tackling, all this stuff. The coaches then look at their plays that they have in their playbook and they come up with a plan that is going to beat the other team. Now, here's the situation. You might have all those plans in place, but if you don't execute those plays properly, your goals are never reached. And this is what happens to you and me, and this is what happens in many businesses, is you have great plans. You've been practicing. You might be doing, self-help. You might be learning all the recipes. You might be learning everything you need to do to be a part of this business of coding and doing video editing or whatever it is, how to work the algorithm on YouTube, all these things. And you put this plan in place, you put these plays in place, but then you don't execute them or you don't do them well. You might do them, but you don't do them well. I watch so many times, and going back to my football references, that they'll call a play and the defender will be wide open. He'll be able to run right in and tackle the quarterback. But what happens? The quarterback does a little shimmy, does a little step, and the defender falls to the ground. Or one of the most frustrating things is you call that perfect play on offense, quarterback rolls out, everyone's blocked, the wide receiver's wide open, they throw it to him, and what happens? He drops the ball because he didn't execute the plan completely, and they don't score. So how do we do this? How do we get over this so that we're not only making plans, we're not only preparing ourselves by practicing, but we're actually executing the plans? Well, here's where I'm going to throw in my number one thing, is that having a life coach, having an executive coach working with you helps tremendously, because they're going to step outside of you and be able to see the things that you don't. And they can point things out to you and say, here, this is not good. You need to change this. You need to do this. You might be working really hard, but because you're making these little mistakes, you're not executing your plan. So that's the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, is that you really need to get a life coach. You really need to get an executive coach to help look at what you're doing and take a different approach to it. The second thing I think you need to do is to slow down and work out your plan from beginning to end. And what a lot of people do is they'll take a plan and they'll go, this is what I'm going to do. And then they'll go, we'll just figure it out on the way there. Well, you're figuring it out on the way there usually means you're not going to get there. Usually means you're going to veer off your plan. You're going to go in a different direction. You need to sit down and visualize all of the steps. And what I would suggest is you take your plan and you break it out into small chunks. We're going to do this. Okay, after we achieve this, we're going to achieve this. After we achieve this, we're going to achieve this. And break out that plan, so then when you achieve that goal, it wasn't that you just went from plan to goal, is that you did all the little things in between. Because what can happen is that if you make a mistake in one of the little areas, you can then adjust in that little area, make a change, and then keep moving forward. But if you just kind of willy-nilly and just going, hey, I'm just going for it, you get thrown off because you don't have anything to fall back on. And the way I think about this is that, remember the old days when we used to do stuff on computers and you'd be typing your paper out or writing something in Word, and you had to save every time or every paragraph. I mean, how many times were, you would be writing and you get the whole page down and then all of a sudden you would hit something and boom, your whole project's gone. Why? Because you didn't incrementally save as you went. Nowadays, it saves every letter as you type it in and just saves as you go. But back in the day, in the old days, man, you could lose an entire 3, 5, 10-page paper just by one button stroke and it'd be gone. So having those incremental things, having those little things that you can adjust, change, go back right there and keep moving you forward is huge when it's executing your plan. The next thing in execution of your plan that you need to do is you need to continue to evaluate where you are in the process. A lot of people put those blinders on and they start off on their plan and they don't look left or right, up or down, don't reevaluate anything, and they just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you realize after a while, you are missing the mark completely. You've completely gone off course. So being able to stop, reevaluate multiple times while you're executing your plan, while you're doing your plan, helps keep you on course, helps put that goal back in front of you. You might do something and because it didn't go right, you turn a little sideways. Well, if you realign your plan back up with your goal, then you can keep going forward. So reevaluate as you're going over and over and over again. Guys, I hope this helps you out. I don't want to be in that press conference saying, hey, we had a great plan, we had great practice, we did these things great, but we didn't execute well when it came to game day and came to reaching our goals. I want you to reach your goals. I want you to be better so you can give better. Hey, please leave me a comment in the comments to say, I've started a plan and here's my plan. Here's what I'm planning on doing. Here's where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. If you're doing that, great. I would love to hear about that plan. I would also love to hear and say, hey, I tried this plan one time and I totally got off. I totally missed the mark, totally failed, and I worked my butt off. I played really hard. I had a good plan, but I didn't execute it well. And I would love to hear comments on that as well. All right, guys, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Okay? Love you. Bye-bye.